Hi, this is Sarah from sarayip.com and Facebook, The Numbers Queen, with the super amazing Fiona McGary. Hello, Fiona.
Hello, good afternoon.
I am so happy to have you on this call. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So let's do a little intro for Fiona. So Fiona has had a very significant career as a professional stand-up comedian. She's actually done over 3,200 shows to over 250,000 people. Whoa. And she's the creator of the hugely successful stand-up comedy course, which I believe it ran or has run for 10 years. Monumental. Fiona now has a passion to use her experience and understanding of humour to bring about positive change in people's lives and businesses. So welcome, Fiona.
Hello.
That is quite an epic introduction, can I say?
Just when you read that, I went, no wonder I feel so tired.
Wow. Some of us have read a few books, watched a few podcasts, complained a bit about the world, and you've worked with over 250,000 people and how many students to help them, understand the power of the word and overcome their worst fears. Just putting us to shame, Fiona. Please have a lie down.
I'm using Corona for some lie down time.
Yeah, tell me that you sleep.
I sleep at night. I wish I'm not someone who can nap. I don't know why. I've got this system that's just when the sun's up, that's it. I cannot.
You're just geared for efficiency.
Yeah.
It's funny, because they say when people are laughing, they learn much faster. So perhaps you're here as some kind of teacher, and because humour gets it across, slicker, that's what you've gone for. It's like this kind of, like maximum effect in one lifetime thing. So we know from your date of birth that you've given me that you're a number 5 Lifepath, specifically a 23-5 in numerology, which comes from adding up your date of birth left to right. So in the work I do, this is about the throat chakra. So it's a whole lifetime devoted to sticking your neck out without losing your head, finding your voice, balancing, listening and speaking in that perfect ratio, getting people to see different points of view, to look around at the world, find their own truth, connect with their intuition, their inner teacher, which has a 5 energy. So it's this incredibly sensitive and magical life path, which potentially could go either way, it could go really obsessive or it could be super hippie, easygoing. So where are you with that life path now?
Am I super easygoing or am I more driven? Is that what you mean?
At the moment, yeah. Just to let you know, your screen is freezing a little bit, but maybe that's because you thought so hard that the computer picked it up.
I broke the internet with
it's
my
totally
thought.
Possible that just happened. So yeah, are you more on the easygoing side or more on the worky work side at the moment?
At the moment, I'm trying to be on the easygoing side, but I can't seem to stop that worky work. To be specific on that, I literally a couple of days ago, I went, right, that's it. I'm taking a couple of weeks off and I'm not doing anything. I'm not putting any courses online. I'm resting and repairing. And then today I was like, I could get the Grow with Humour on there like really quickly. So I'm trying to do one, but the other one keeps going, are you sure you don't want to work?
Yes, there's a bit of a committee. There's a bit of a committee with you. And maybe it's about taking turns with the different voices, keeping it really democratic. So how do you feel about your voice? How do you feel when you hear yourself these days? Because that's a lot of the journey of the 5 is, how do you feel? How do you experience yourself when you hear your voice and you actually see it has an impact in the world?
I think it depends in what regard we're talking about with that. So, that 20 years of doing stand-up, that voice, if I even watch any old footage, I'm like, ugh, I hate it. Not hate, that's a bit harsh. because it's very old me, and a lot of that
Yeah.
material is just not even an accurate representation of who I am anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I feel sort of the new work that I'm stepping into is a greater representation of me,
Mm-hmm.
and giving myself a lot more self-expression. Yeah.
Super interesting. And I have to say, I've watched your videos, they're still funny. Like, you know, obviously you outgrew it faster than the rest of us. And, you know, I often find with the fives, they never slow down long enough to be seen with the naked eye, unless, like, you know, there's a pandemic or there's a Mercury retrograde or something. Like, it really takes something
Yeah.
for them to hop up, shall we say. Yeah, so you're obviously in transition, which is very exciting. Do you remember anything happening around your life past turning point ages? The childhood one was 5 and the adult one was 23. What was that? What was that like?
5, I don't recall.
Probably started school.
Yeah, and even that's sort of a bit kind of fuzzy. Yeah, look, to be honest, I don't have a great, you know, recollection of, oh, this happened at 5. 23 was when I started traveling.
Yeah.
Overseas. So that was,
Mm-hmm.
I loved that, to be honest. I loved sort of being away from Australia, and I felt a lot more freedom to actually kind of express who I really was. I'm from a big family, so, you know, your voice gets a bit lost in a family of 5 kids.
Interesting. You've got that number 5 stalking you, haven't you? You've got 3,200 shows. 3 + 2 is 5. Family of 5. Probably all throughout your life. Yeah, you know, a lot of 5s do find a lot of joy in exploring other worlds, other personalities. They're often the very best actors, and actually some of them are the very best doctors because they can kind of morph. They can kind of feel into like different energies. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about spiritual bypassing. You've now had an opportunity to go from the world of comedy, where it's very much live or die by the sword, which is an anagram of words, to potentially the softer and yet more scary world of spiritual new age self-help stuff, right? So have you experienced any spiritual bypassing? Have you noticed any of that as you've gone into this field, you know, where people say one thing but they do another, or they kind of just wishy-wash around the bigger issues?
I feel that the online space at the moment is full of a large majority of that.
Yeah, interesting. And how does it affect you? Obviously, you're a highly sensitive person. You know, you vibe off people really, really quickly and really accurately. So how does it affect you, I guess, when you're around a lot of that spiritual whitewashing or bypassing?
I have to try quite hard not to get really frustrated, borderline angry about.
And make a smart remark.
Yeah, like I've really got to
keep your head on, right? Keep your head on this lifetime.
Zip it and just go, that's where they're at, mind your own business. It only riles me up a bit when I see it involving what I sort of look at as preying on vulnerable people.
Yeah.
And offering, you know, advice and coaching and taking on, you know, high-end clients. That's when it riles me up. If they're just on there expressing whatever, I'm like, oh, whatever. But when it's about targeting people, that's when I'm like, argh.
Yeah, the difference between gaslighting and like blowtorching.
Yeah, well, I you know, I think the energetic imprint through which we coach goes to your clients and students. So that's why I get a bit. But you know, I also can take the other side.
When you get emotional, your screen freezes.
Does it?
Which I actually kind of love. That's one of the things I love about online technology. It's so honest, and you record it, so you see all the spirit things that happen. But you're back now. You're back now. Fierce Fee made an appearance. It was this sort of like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce.
Yeah, wow.
Well, Beyonce is a 5, so you know, she's got a very passionate side.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So is Jay-Z, so they're both movers and shakers, you know, super powerful energy. When 5s get together, you know, revolution happens for sure. So how do you keep it, how do people keep it real when there's a lot of fluffy stuff or a lot of people kind of garbaging the world?
Look, I think it's pretty, I think it's pretty hard because I'm old enough. Not that age necessarily matters. Someone can be 70 and very sleepy. Is I have to remember that we all sort of start somewhere on the spiritual path,
Yeah.
When you read that first book or whatever, or however you start to get in touch with your spiritual side, and look, I've been guilty of it. We've all done that workshop or read this book, and then before you know it, you're out there being a parrot.
Proselytizing, totally. It's one of the hallmarks that it didn't quite integrate. It's like, it's like waiting for someone to cut you down and be like, that's not you, it doesn't fit you. But it's almost like doing it this kind of weird reversed way. Somebody let me know. Yeah,
so it's a bit of a dance, and I think there's probably something in it for me to learn of, well, you were there once, and just sort of, letting it be. There's some people I kind of meet and watch what they're doing, and you've got to not be an arrogant twat, like, oh, I'm so much more spiritual than you and I've done more work and this and that. And even saying that is kind of like, have you? Because you're being very judgmental of them now, which,
It's got to be said that if you're sexy and you know it, you don't need to wear a shirt that says sexy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a thing, isn't it? It's a bit of a dead giveaway, and it's just a step, and it doesn't have to occupy our consciousness unless maybe, we're still feeling a bit insecure. But it's also true that sometimes you just have to say something, because maybe you're seeing behind the mask that no one else can see the person is wearing. Sometimes just the angle at which you're sitting, you can see the latex peeling off, and I think that's when we have a responsibility to say that person has got more than one layer.
Oh yeah, and I guess, look, if you are being totally self-expressed and authentic, then you don't need to tell people that that's the case. You just are. You don't need to go, I'm being, and I go, oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of like
I feel like you're not now because you've just said that you are,
It's kind of like the duck putting on a bill, but it's got a bill, but it wants its bill to be bigger. But at the same time, I guess, sometimes we have to do those things so we realize it's not necessary, huh?
You've got to start somewhere. That's what I mean, where I've got to...
You used to say that to me with comedy, remember? You've got to start somewhere with a joke, with a set. That's probably the best advice, right?
Yep, just start.